Well, hooray, hooray. You know, peace on earth. You know, in the spiritual realm at least. Yeah, man. Real end times possibilities if we don't start changing. You know, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Just Drew. He walked Dante's Inferno. He met 3 demon incarnates and loved them back to life. Walked with them. Assured them God was with them. And when things got tough, things got real tough. People tend to push people away. This was a little bit different than that. But the environment we live in is a hostile one. Emotionally. Everything is divisive. And it's just a token of the times that we live in. Because it is, like I said, there is an air of despair. Something isn't right. I thought life had more meaning to this than this. You know, there's, and we get out and we find highlights. And thank God for that. But it wasn't anybody's fault. You know, as we search for purpose and but anyway, I've been trying to figure out how I'm gonna like come in, you know, and it's really hard to like try to present this in a way that people understand what's going on. Okay? There's been a dimensional boundary lapse between the celestial world and the real world that we live in. Okay? And people are becoming what are called ascendants. Okay? And it's important that we understand that everybody just wants the best for people. And we're coming up on the space era. And right now, during the uncontrolled inventions of technology make the firmament, which is a force field in essence, that protects and surrounds the earth. Okay? So, like I said, it had its first and second laps. Okay? So like I said, so that's just the thing. Is that we are creating all this technology for war defense and for espionage. And we're living in fear of the unknown. Well, I'm here to tell you what is known. Okay, we're all in this together. This is our planet. These are our people. And we ought to start getting along. Because in essence, we are all we've got. And if we would like to keep living in a place where people lie to each other, nations don't share frivolously amongst each other, we will continue to slide the time reality line into a place that will eventually be normal. Okay, so I'm here to tell you that we got to get organized and we got to start living more purposeful lives. And we can seal that firmament from an inevitably bad future. We don't know what it will be, but we know where we will be going. See, I'm dealing with possible futures here, people, because I know what's coming, because the time has broken. Okay? So, the reality is that I'm trying to protect us from each other. And like I said, the way that we can do that is to unite under Infinity United. It's a space, like I said, it has been adopted by other planets in the Milky Way. My report says it has been adopted by every single planetary god out there. That's how popular Infinity United is. In turn, the end result is that if you've watched any of my other videos, if we can get behind, if we can all get behind it, tomorrow will be a thing of tomorrow. It will not be required, but like I said, there's no reason it can't happen should you want it. But like I said, it's not like there's going to be another sun god just pop up. Like I said, this is really a miraculous event. Like I said, we had, there was 5 visiting planets at the time of conception. And like I said, they watched it go down right here on Earth. So that's where everyone else is, because the people on the folks on the moon. So this is what happened. After the Battle Royale, this is 2021. I'm living with I just grabbed a room for like $200 a week. And basically my roommate, he was just he just kind of like got me into this I'm gonna hold off on telling the story on that. But the bottom line is that over the time period between 2021 and 2025, I walked, in essence, is what I would call Dante's Inferno, in which I met a group of people who, um, so basically were, like I said, negative energy people. I guess I've always been like really aware of the spiritual world. But like I noticed something about like these people specifically. Is that they're so in the end, it turns out that but basically, during the first break in 2020, the end result of the, I guess, scary tale of what very could be the end of the world was but a reminder of what could be. And pretty much by the end of it, it was just such a remarkable display because, like I said, those are like I said, I call them heaven's left hand or whatever. But anyway, it's like I said, and like I said, by the end of the encounter with the unholy, there was a peace deal arranged for Earth. They're basically energy vampiric spirits that after judgment, or when we start getting toward that fucking force field, when we start getting past that force field gets weaker, like people consciousnesses that you know what I'm saying, like, so as a humanity, we're like evolving. And it's really important to just know how we evolve. Do we want to evolve in, and it's like we're just not evolving very, in a way that is conducive to a fulfilling life. And like I said, I can tell that these people from the future, basically were just, like I said, could have been just living in sin of your average people. But had, for whatever reason, gotten, so, it's like we're just all spirit souls stuck inside this force field. And that's it. So, like, you die and then you float around and you find one of your young. It's important to keep, like, so your soul can't like go back if you change race, so like, so you're kind of just like grandpa. There's a lot of truth to that. But ultimately, it's just the same souls. We are the souls of Earth. We are the people of Earth. Some of us feel like there's nothing to do, and other of us have to, eat from buckets, and like cockroaches. And like, there's no organization that's just like taking care of this. Two problems at once. And it's like this fulfillment problem is because we don't know where we're going as a country anymore. We can't no longer trust the system. It's seeming like, it just, like I said, Americans just aren't buying it anymore. And we don't know where to turn. We may turn to God, but it seems like, you know, we may turn to the church and find a healthy avenue out. But ultimately, there's nowhere where we can rely on to try to see mass change. And, like I said, and what we're talking about here is a change of idea. That, you know, a nice life is only reserved, you know, in my backyard, you know? And, like, I'm really counting on rich people to kind of step up to the plate here. Because your money's, like I said, is no good anyway in the future, man. The transfer of wealth is huge. And black people really, if you guys are hearing this, you guys really got to stop breeding. You guys are outnumbering us like 3-1. And that's not just black people. That's colored people of all kind. And like I said, we really need to do some, like I said, white people, you know, I've been like hitting that PHP, IOP, for African shit, you know, but there's this also problem of this, there's also that, you know, or get involved in something, you know. But like I said, most of these stuff that people are excited about is actually destroying this country. And in essence, it's destroying the safety of you know what I'm saying, that, you know, our father had been able to provide up to this point of massive, like I said, it's just to a point now where it's like even religious organizations are like racially driven, and like that's not godly if it's in a takeover of, you know, or a disguising sin, you know. So again, how the firmament works is, once things start looking inevitable, well, first, like I said, so right now, like I said, the next, like, big shift that it's going to face is public. It's a little bit different than it is right now, in which our, like, and like I said, how like how the Celestials do it is like they'll have some kids over here in different families, in different family lines. So there's no way of really telling. But like I said, yeah, your family's up on the moon trying to make your life better. So I mean, no, that's it. We all work for God. We still haven't found God. We are going to be a one world government. And that's just how we're going to do it. And we're going to secure that firmament, so that, like I said, if families would like to come regenerate down here, that's fine. But we're just going to go ahead and leave that shut. And like I said, this is, we're bringing heaven to earth. You know, they have you know, it doesn't matter, you know, but, like I said, this is just, the word coming down from on high. Infinity United, is the way to go. It can definitely prepare you, for life. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, I thank God for my buddy James here. He took me in, kind of let me set up shop in the basement here. So, like I said, I got about 20 videos now, and this is just kind of, this is out there stuff, and it'd be wise to believe it, because it's true. And like I said, I got the keys to paradise right here. I forgave thine worst enemy. I suffered for the sake of God. 8 years going. I got a great track record. I stand for what's right. And here I am. I just like I said, I just don't want you to pray to me. That's not something I've ever believed in. I pray to God. I believe in God, and I believe that if I prepare myself and find the right team and have my T's checked and my I's dotted, then I can and I can stand by my stuff. That's what really matters in the end. I, like I said, I can stand by this, that I know this to be true. By God, I swear. Like I said, there's no real punishment should you not believe me. But if we should hop on this bandwagon, and then we can stop the end of times dead in its tracks. So right, I'm out here just like so, and like I said, it just like it cost me just about everything to have to come out and figure out how this is gonna go down. Anyway, that does, like I said, all that stuff doesn't even really matter. Like I said, the true gift of God is the one life we have, and pretty much we're gonna try to make it as good as we can. But heaven is a place that we can make right here on earth. Heaven is a place we can make on earth. And it doesn't take that much, really. We can get some preliminary stuff done and motivate people and get other countries. Like I said, first I gotta get a following here. But that's the thing. If you want to go to heaven, believe in Jesus. But I can bring heaven to earth. And that's the real truth right there. But he's already up there. He's already in Infinity United. Like I said. So like that's just the standard, man. It's the new standard. So we can do that right here. It'll be like 15 years. We really got like an 8-year plan. Set up America. But like I said, if we can just get that prelim done before I get to the moon, I got to get to the moon first. So I got to get to the moon and get the software. Okay. It's hack proof, it's foolproof. 8 applications. Yep. And then, like I said, we'll go ahead and raise yourself to become the greatest version of humanity that we can be before we let anyone out there see us. And that's just the goal. So I say we start, go ahead and making this positive movement. Remember that positive movement is going to, and working together, baby. Pretty cool, man. That's the truth. And like I said, I can't stop you, from going to heaven. Like I said, that's your people up there, dude. That ain't me. Okay? I'm trying to save this planet. Not, I pretty much got nothing to do with heaven. Except the fact that I, like I said, have been, chosen to undergo a test of morality in extreme conditions. And I am just very much so the same as everyone else. Except I have knowledge that basically will lead you to live a more fulfilling life. And that's what everybody up there wants. So that's the truest statement that I think I can make. However, our family lines, like I said, and it's like when you get there, it's like all of a sudden you retain your sentience. Like I said, but that's what it's about. That's the point. That's called becoming holy. That's called becoming holy. That's why it's important to keep our families. So there's all sorts of life, and life everlasting. All is just about what you believe. What you believe will happen. What does happen after death? I can't change the laws of physics, can I? But we haven't even, we don't really know what reality even is. We still have all these new that we're just exploring as a civilization. Driving down memory alley. Stuff like this is already out there. And like I said, it's Yeah, the most sophisticated defense, you know? But what are we defending from? Our own misguided youth? People only rise up when they have a need that needs to be addressed. Okay? And this is the need that needs to be addressed. Is that we need something to believe in. And ultimately, that's what we spend our lives doing. And it'll like I said, it doesn't matter. Like I said, my mission here is to prepare you in one lifetime for fucking experiencing holiness. Okay? Really, really, really important. Feeling good about yourself. Did you know you can transform? It's important to feel good about yourself and do what you can to look your best. You are worth it. You deserve it. Did I get these people talking about Klonopin? It's the only fucking medicine we pretty much use for mental health, period. Okay? If you have depression, you need like a 0.25. If you got anxiety, too, you need like a 0.5. If you got anxiety really bad, or you're fucking feeling like you're not a man, you need 1 milligram. Okay? And doctors will do anything because they are experimenting. Like I said, this is all natural in the name of science. Because they're experimenting with SSRIs. And like I said, this issue really doesn't get addressed until it's too late for the white race, bro. And then like I said, structured activity, bro. Like I said, I'm doing IOP all day. And like I said, and then let's get to talking about, you know what I'm saying, what we want to see out of life. What do we want to see out of life? Like I said, we got them lifestyles. And like I said, I'm in the middle of crafting a website, infinityunited.info. Pretty much, so like I said, there's so many different ways to navigate this, experience that we live in, that it's best to just say, pretty much, you know, you can only travel back to yourself. Okay? So all this failed timelines until we discover the fucking keys to the fucking, and then, like I said, so coming, you know, 5 years from now, you might have, you know, a different version of you go ahead and merge with you. And he'll be so grateful and you'll never know it. Because I get to ride out the fucking end of time again. Yay. Because that's the status of fucking, like I say, right now, people are worried about, there's a celestial thing going on. Okay, and basically there's a different like way that we can like do it to ensure our own for ourselves. Okay, um this is a scary situation. I'm very hopeful, you know. I when I talk about the future, but like I said, it's very likely that it could be happening. um like I said with but like I said, this time space like continuum that we live in is basically uh is basically um um no one knows what it is. Okay, and the reality is that the white race is projected to go bad, and that is because we basically are not prescribed Klonopin. So it's as straight up as that. Also, we are akin and more sensitive to one feeling, which is true love, which is another phenomenon. Let me tell you about true love. It's another phenomenon related to our spirit. Okay, and like basically as our spirit forms inside of our body, you know, and it's like, and no, I don't have any qualm against like fucking abortion, because I know that like I said like I said I don't have any qualm against abortion. It's more important that that baby have a life well lived or an opportunity to succeed than it is than it is to uh, like I said, so we are gonna have to really slow down on childbirth, and ramp up what it means. Like I said, so it's like as people, like I said, I gotta break down a fucking healthy like day. You know, is like some movement, some not movement, some intellectual, some physical, and then you know having the need to like take a break from people, as well as having the need to like get with them, and like basically there's just not enough structure around where people can easily connect, um, and connection points are like I said, they're hard to get to, um, they're hard to have, and like I said, it's like um, we need to start uniting around this creation of the heaven on earth. Okay. What we offer is technological regeneration. So, like I said, we can die naturally until we get it developed. But like I said, I got it in like 15, 20 years. Um, and so long as Infinity United starts up. And we got to boost white. We have to boost white like by times six. Okay, we need like 6 times the white people in America to even it back out. Okay, so it's like a big deal for Americans to be you know, diverse. It's a big deal. It's a big future problem until this Klonopin thing gets understood. Okay, this is emergency times. Okay, you're not gay. It's just that how people are demonstrating being a man is not by, but rather being a man of God is how you display your manhood. and we're all over the place as far as what that looks like. So, to be clear, that person will put their mind to something, and then they will get it done. And